Do it live.
Tweeted.
All right, tweet. That was fast. Greg still shot at me, Jack.
You look so wholesome there. You look so innocent.
Yeah. Oh, let me. I just retweeted from the Motherland account. All right. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
And 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It is Friday, July 31st, last day of the month, and you have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I am your host, Southside Zoe, a.k.a. Father Zoe, a.k.a. Patiently Waiting. I'm Nick Madrigal, and with me, as always, Mr. Aldo Soto.
I just want to say that it's great having a rookie second baseman, getting the job done, getting at bats, just I'm not going to take that for granted.
Oh, Wusa. And Mr. K. Fitz, Kevin Fiddler. What's up, buddy?
My God, Aldo, that is a troll job and a half. That's fantastic. I was just going to say, I was going to talk about Nico Horner. I'm excited about Nico because we have so many nicknames. Frico for Nico, Nico's a Frico. And I think, Aldo, you got
Horny for Horner.
Horny for Horner. That one's going. I think my grandma posted that one.
Oh.
Wait, she's dead. Never mind. So
it'll be an interesting tweet then.
Nico for Horner. Wait, that doesn't rhyme.
So we're 6 games deep into the season now.
Sox season over.
There is some talking points. No, Sox season not over.
Oh, if they would have lost on Tuesday,
if they would have lost on Wednesday, Sox season over. But Sox season not over.
Not over.
So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, everybody knows the storylines out there. We got White Sox. We got Cubs. It's regular season baseball.
Who's this Magical you got on your screen?
God, I should be playing second base. So let's tap this keg. As always, this podcast is brought to you by Sports Mockery, sportsmockery.com. Make sure you go and download the app, turn on push notifications so you'll know exactly when Nick Madrigal gets called up. Sports Mockery, sportsmockery.com. Download the app. So the White Sox season's not over. And according to Lucas Giolito, that was a must-win game on Wednesday. But according to Ricky, it wasn't. And technically, Ricky's right. Because, if they lost, their season wasn't over. But
at the same time, if they lost.
2-4 looks a lot better than 1-5. Put it that way. All right. So, rough go against the Indians. I still don't sweat the Indians. Lost both games in doubleheader. And then Lucas Giolito bounced back and threw a gem on Wednesday night. So we got some things to discuss. First and foremost, though, before we get started, I need to do something. I have to do it. Hopefully people are tuning in now. I need to do this. This is the first time this has ever happened on this show. This is the first time. I need to publicly apologize. I'm going to publicly apologize to Nicky Delmonico. My anger was misguided. I fired off roughly about 10 to 15 tweets talking a lot of shit. And it was misguided anger. As my guy, Menus, you should definitely be following him on Twitter, at Liam Menus, pointed out to me, I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at Ricky, just like in that movie. You're not mad at me, you're mad at your dad. Yeah, it's kind of like that. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the guy that's batting you fourth. I'm mad at the guy that's keep trotting you out to right field. I just don't get it. Nicky, you were struggling. You're struggling, bud. You're struggling. But you should be batting ninth if you're playing at all. But you shouldn't be playing. But I apologize. I feel way better saying that now. Nicky's struggling. 2 for 16, batting 125, having some issues hitting the cutoff man. Basically struggling. And in no way, shape, or form should be batting cleanup for a team that people think should be contending. There is in no universe is Nicky Delmonico the cleanup man for a contending team in Major League Baseball. So I apologize. Those tweets were misguided. I just don't know what Ricky's putting out the same lineup that he did last year. He's just doing it again. And what's the definition of insanity? Is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So
how much of that do you actually attribute though to the front office telling them? I mean, again, with the analytics and whatnot, is he putting together a lineup, or are they putting together a lineup?
From what we've been told, Ricky puts together his own lineups, but that's what we're getting fed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there every day. I don't know who's saying what, who's doing what, how much he actually has input on this, and I don't really want to just sit here and speculate because none of us know. Nobody knows unless you're literally there. But on Wednesday, when they put a stop to the losing streak, again, I mean, 95% of it was Lucas Giolito pitching lights out, which I want to talk about in a minute. But another part of it was Adam Engel was in the outfield. He was in right field. And then you had Eloy back in left. But Engel and Delmonico are basically a push when it comes to the plate. Engel's obviously hitting better right now. He's batting, 455, but that's, I mean, he went 5 for
11.
So he's obviously hitting well. But when it comes to the defense, I mean, that's night and day. Engel's faster, better routes on balls, and he hits the cutoff man. Little league shit, but he does it. So I think Wednesday's lineup was good. But that brings us to the first talking point is the hot start of Louise Roberts. All right. So through 23 at-bats, Louise Roberts got 8 hits, batting .348, best on the team. He's gotten a hit in every Major League Baseball game he's played in his life, 6 games. But he looks good. And out of everything he's done, the thing that impressed me the most was the base hit up the middle in the 9th inning against Cleveland on Wednesday. Because you fear with a guy like this that hits his average exit velo is like 106 right now. It's ridiculous. So he goes up to the plate, and in all honesty, second and third, they were up by, I think, a run or two at that point, 2 runs at that point. And
2-0.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, all right, this kid's he's going to swing hard and, whatever. Very nice at bat. Took a couple low and away sliders because they try to feed him right away. Didn't swing hard, didn't swing out of his shoes, and took a ball right back up the middle. It was beautiful. And coming from a rookie, that was a professional at bat. And that made me feel really good. But that feeling of good quickly subsided to why is he still batting 7th?
And we saw that the day before too, and I think it was either game 1 or 2 of the doubleheader, where Cleveland was like mowing down the entire lineup, and then I think he was down 2 strikes or maybe 1-2. Takes breaking ball in the outside corner. He did the same thing. Didn't try to do too much. Just rolled it into right field, and that's the sign of a mature hitter right there. Where he's now doing it's not a week to week, game to game, or rookies. It can be month to month adjustments. For him, it really does seem like it's pitch to pitch. He can recognize what is happening, and he's adjusting very, very fast.
Yep, because the early read on him was just hit him with the low and away break and stuff.
It was the same as it was Eloy. It was like the same way that they attack Eloy, they were going to attack him. Is he going to adjust right away? And he has. And he's covering all fields in the out. The defense isn't a problem. And you can see it happen twice in the Cleveland series where a ball was hit out to him. He picked it up, and the runner stopped at third. And on the second one, Stoney was even like, well, I guess the book's out on him. Don't run on him. And he hasn't even thrown.
He's like done like a couple like half-hearted throws, but he hasn't had like a play at the plate throw yet. But they're not running on him, which – to get that respect as a rookie, okay. So, I mean, you can't – if there's like the brightest point of a 2-4 start has been Louise Roberts has lived up to expectations, in my opinion. I can't say I could expect more from him. Yeah, he's even stole the base. I was going to say maybe he starts stealing more base. He's even stolen a base. I mean,
you know what to expect. You know, he's a rookie, and you take the good with the
Right.
bad. And he's going to have those 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of moments. But that's kind of the fun part about watching a kid like that grow, because he's a freak. He's a freak, and freaks do things at a different level. I actually firmly believe that time slows down for them. Like 24 hours for like a guy like Michael Jordan or like a Lou Bob, freak athlete. I think that 24 hours for them is a completely different time span, because we see time. I mean, they're just elite like that, and he's going to do some stuff. He'll drive you nuts a few times this year, but
yeah,
this is fun to watch. Like I liked watching it. I mean, I'm watching White Sox games now because I accidentally bought MLB ticket or MLB TV.
I gotcha.
Yeah, got me. And I enjoy watching. I like his at bats are fun to watch. Like he has those little flaws, but he does a really good job of adjusting, and that's
Right.
what you want to see.
And I mean, his 9-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, that's your first 6 games as a major leaguer. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely, you got to fail to succeed.
Right. And the key is, like Aldo said, is the adjustments. And we saw that again, 9th inning clutch hit against Cleveland to basically seal the game. And so that's the good. It's obviously not all good if you're 2-4, but we'll stay on the position players. So Eloy got hurt. He came back, so that's fine. Good with Eloy right now. He's just being Eloy. I want to talk about he's got it, but at least he made fun of himself. He made that comment. He said, I fought the wall twice and I'm losing 2-0.
Okay, yeah, I'll ask you this. How many more times? And it's like, stop. Like, this isn't funny.
It's got to be now. It's got to be.
Like, one more time, it's like, stop.
It's
like,
not
enough. DH.
Yeah, I mean, this time it was like, haha, he ran into the wall again. Like, oh, Eloy. But
I guess the positive was this time he didn't go on the injured list. I mean, he missed 2 games. So, I mean, bad, but it wasn't like last year when he missed like weeks and weeks and weeks.
Maybe he's just testing the fence for vulnerabilities like a velociraptor did in Jurassic Park. And he's just trying to hit every part of the wall. Sooner or later, he's going to find one and knock the whole wall down.
Yeah, he might.
For himself, again.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like, what's his name from Major League 2, though? Or 3. Is it 2? 2. The guy that literally goes through the wall and then punches through it after he knocks the wall down.
You have no marbles. Yeah, I mean, he's doing his thing. TA's doing all right. He's batting right under 300 in that leadoff spot. I really like that he's going other way with balls. And he's definitely taking extra bases. His fielding's been okay. I mean, we saw there was one error, but all right. Lurie Garcia, as much as it pains me to say it because I want my guy here, he's been hitting the ball well. Yoan Moncada is going to be Yoan Moncada. He's just playing lights out. But let's talk about some of the elder statesmen, if you will, in this lineup. I'm going to start with Jose Abreu because he's catching a lot of shit on the White Sox Twitter streets right now, and Ken WO is fighting him off. But I side with Ken. I mean, I think Jose Abreu has earned a little slack from us. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. Maybe does he have to bat 4th? No. I don't know why that's set in stone, but he's flashing leather. He's being Jose Abreu. I think this is just a slow start. Still has 3 RBIs, 2 doubles. It's Jose Abreu, man. He's going to be fine. I'm not too worried about that.
Jose Abreu, no walks.
No walks. Welcome to the White Sox.
But I mean, we talked about last episode when it was just dude Mizo. You can't keep having Louise Roberts bat 7th. You can't have batting 6th. Yeah. These guys are your best hitters.
I get protecting your rookie. Like, I get that out of the gate. But out of the gate now, through 2 series, he's the best hitter on your team.
I said this. What was it? Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. He needs to be, and so.
No, I was gonna say, Luis Robert he's coming up in the same category as when Chris Bryant came up.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking back to 2015, imagine if for like half the year, Rick Renteria was like, Chris Bryant needs to develop. He needs some protection. We're gonna bat him 7th all year long, or like half the year, and we'll reevaluate after that. Like, what?
Right.
Luis Roberts, he's a star already now. We know it. He's shown us he doesn't need any protection.
No.
If he struggles, fine. Fine, that's fine. You'd rather have him struggle getting at least one more at bat every game than you know having half the at bats because he's batting seventh in a lineup that has like two guys that shouldn't be in the majors.
Yeah, but you also take into consideration the fact that he's a rookie. You want to bury a guy deeper in the lineup.
Kevin, he's a star. You don't stop stars. Kevin, come on. Put your shot. Imagine this is Chris Bryant.
I know. I'm a guy that wrote a lineup. Hey, Aldo,
Bryant,
I have written many lineups with Chris Bryant batting 6th and 7th in that lineup when
Terrible.
he was a freshman in high school. Why?
Exactly.
You bury the kid and let him go and just get his feet wet. You get some straight balls.
We're not talking about high school, Kevin.
I know, but we're talking about development of players, and that is the same thing. And that's why Nico Horner is batting 7th and 8th. Well, also,
Not the caliber of hitter of Louise Roberts. What are you talking about?
He's not their best hitter. Why would you optimize someone that's not your best hitter right now? So
if
you're taking the season,
one at a time.
Taking the season, you bat him early. That's fine. But if you want to win, you don't put a rookie right there like that in that kind of situation and expect results. I mean, what is he hitting right now?
Like
348.
He's hitting 350, right? Why would you change anything if it's working right now and make a kid that's uncomfortable in a weird season less comfortable? Why would you take away that comfort? Why would you? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I think you got to at least try it.
He'll eventually move up there slowly but surely. But we're 5 games in.
I mean, you just said they're trying to win. You're trying to win. You're trying to get your best hitters the most at bats.
Yeah, but he's not their best hitter.
Unfortunately, though,
your best. Who? Okay, no. I just want to know, Kevin, who is a better hitter than Luis Roberts right now, besides Yohan Moncada?
I know that they're over the course of time. You're looking at a small sample size, and I'm talking about like over the course of a 16-game season.
What is the projection of Luis Roberts? What he has shown, not just in the majors, just throughout since he became a professional baseball player. What he has projected to be, what he has shown already in camp, what everyone says about him, what his teammates see.
Sure.
Who is better? Who's a better option? Why would guys like Zach Collins the other day was batting 5th? Nicky Delmonico was batting 4th. Okay, fine. Jose Abreu, track record. Okay. He has a longer leash. I get it.
Well, first I'll preface it with this. How'd that work out for Tim Anderson last year when they started him at 7th and let him earn his way up to the top? What did he do last year? After the whole season when he started hitting 7th, right?
He was great. Imagine how much
started
more
to produce.
the offense could have worked if he started.
There's your results-based analysis. Incorrect. I disagree. See, I believe that he did well because he was in the 7th spot, and as he slowly got acclimated to the job and the business, as he improved, then they slowly start moving him up, and then at that point, he was ready. But you didn't do it in game 5. You did it in that season. And where did they move him up? Like 30 games in the season, maybe 40 games in the season, roughly. You do that with the same thing. And I can tell you right now, I'd rather have a veteran up there in a spot getting looks than a rookie that can't lay off some of the pitches. He's beatable. He's not getting beat right now because people let up when they get deeper in the lineup. He's in a favorable position to see more straight balls than off speed. And he doesn't have to be the guy yet. And then when he's ready to be the guy, or at least when they've let him at least seen enough, and maybe they'll see enough after 5-10 games, but you don't just throw a kid and say, he's killing it. He's hitting 350 after 5 games. Let's reinvent the wheel. You don't change it until it shows that it's a consistent pattern over a course of time. And honestly, 5 games is not enough big enough sample size to say, hey, rookie, you've been killing it in the 7 hole. We're going to move you to 1 or 2 or 3. I don't believe that works that way. But I mean, again, that's what everybody has their philosophy. And I know fans would clamor because you want to see him and you want to see what he has. But at the same time, you don't want to ruin his. What happens if he goes in and hits second and he sucks? And all of a sudden his psyche's destroyed and this invulnerability feeling that he has is gone. And you can't get that back. So once you lose the edge, it's gone.
I get that. And on the other side, though, what if he goes and bats leadoff and kills it? Well, you know what I mean? Like,
is that the risk you're willing to take? His psyche being fractured permanently. Are you willing to lose the invulnerability feeling for that risk? Is it worth the gamble yet?
He's going to have to move. He's been playing professional baseball since he was 15. He's 22.
Well, he'll move up, but this is his first time facing major league pitching. There's a giant jump from AAA to Major League Baseball.
I understand. I just
want to get this straight. Going back to 2015, it's the same situation. Cubs were ready to compete. Sox were ready to compete. You would have been okay if Chris Bryant would have batted half the year 7th.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Yep. I've done it with him specifically. I got lineup cards I could laugh at. I hit him ninth once.
Terrible.
During the summer.
I think we disagree
He
on
was
that.
also in eighth grade, but
in the 60-game season, I also think the player development needs to be escalated, and he's good enough of a player to handle that. And we're already a tenth of the way done with the season, which I noticed that a lot of broadcasters like to bring up, like often. We're 1/10 and 34 quarters through the season. It's like, all right, guys, we get it. 60 games.
Zoe, I don't want to bring you down, but Dylan Cease.
Oh. Yeah, that was bad. The whole rotation was terrible the first time through.
It is. But Dylan Cease was a guy who is supposed to be a top rotation guy. Mm-hmm. He has now gone I think it's now 16 starts or 15 starts. He has a 6.09 ERA. Mm-hmm. He's not good. We know the flashes. We've seen the flashes. He had some great starts, against Houston a couple times last year, I think. He's not a good starting pitcher right now.
The whole rotation looked like shit the first time through, except for Dallas. And then Lucas Giolito, the thing that I'm not worried about with Dylan Cease is the velocity's there. He's hitting 98, 99 on the gun consistently with the fastball. The breaking ball's there. It's breaking. It's dropping. It's all about his location, which I understand is half of pitching. But
sounds like Dylan Maples.
It's easier to fix location than it is to fix not having stuff. So
I've heard.
There has been a pitchfork crowd for Don Cooper, which at this point, dude, I'm so whatever when it comes to Don Cooper. Like, I don't know. And I think there was some shade thrown by some White Sox pitchers when who said it? I don't know who it was, but somebody was asked, like, who do they attribute, like, their pitching better to? And they said the AAA pitching coach.
Oh. Well, I was going to say last year, Giolito was talking about how he went back to his high school pitching coach.
Right. Oh, I get that. It was someone this year, though. Someone was like, what do you attribute this to? And he was like, whoever the AAA pitching coach is. Like, no one has said Don Cooper. And then you get Joe Cowley, that little fucking guy, tweeting out shit, saying how Cooper's a snitch, and he ratted out a bunch of dudes in the organization just so he can get a 10-year contract.
You have to wonder. Don Cooper's been there since like the late 90s or early 2000s. He's survived like 4, 5, 6 different managerial changes. You're gonna ask, how does a guy do that?
He's been the White Sox pitching coach.
I think like 2002.
Yeah, bro. He's been there since 2002.
So it's like Jerry Manuel, Ozzie, Robin, and Naventura. So I guess only 4.
Oh, he's been the pitching coach for 18 years. I mean, that's got to be one of the longest tenured coaches.
And here's the thing. He did build the track record because, like, for a long time, the White Sox, what were they known for? Like, every first, like, all their lefties. Mark Burley, you had Chris Sale, Quintana, and then that obviously that 2005 season had like incredible starting pitching. You got something. You made John Danks something. Gavin Floyd had a couple good years.
Oh yeah, he's been very he has bright spots, but like recently, bro, woof. And I don't know the whole Joe Cowley thing. I don't know, man. I'm not really one to be into speculation, and he said, she said, and Joe obviously has a bone to pick with the White Sox organization, and everybody knows like Ozzy's Joe's dude. Yeah, he's a big Ozzy guy. So, I mean, it is what it is, but like, I don't know, man. Cooper could easily be at the end of his rope. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be sad when he's gone. I mean, I still think it's funny that anytime, like when Cease is getting yanked after 2 1/3, people are tweeting out, "Coop will fix him." Like it's like the ongoing joke, but I don't know. I'm not too worried about Dylan Cease. I really think it'll be like a Lucas Giolito situation where his second outing, you're going to see a big improvement. And also, if you noticed, I'm back to being positive, though. It got dark for like 2 days for me on
What was
Twitter.
the darkest moment?
It got really dark when I saw Nicky Delmonico bat and clean up. Everything just went red. Everything just went red. I lost my shit. I was pissed off because they were just getting smoked. It looked like I was just. But
Are you? Did that everything? Because I mean, it's COVID. Whoever would have thought that was going to happen back in like this past off season, and I mean, injuries could happen, but you had Mazzara out, and you immediately see that there's no depth there. Did you get mad that the Sox didn't like try to go get an actual good right fielder in the off season?
yeah,
Nick Castellanos was right there all along.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. The reports came out on Thursday. There's a lot of guys. They made the Schaumburg practice open to the media on Thursday, and a lot of guys that we know on the show and through Twitter and all that stuff were there. And the first thing that a lot of people have said is the two things that impressed them the most was Nick Madrigal, and number two was Nomar Mazara was just destroying baseballs. So, yes, it's practice. I get that. Way different than a game. So everyone can slow down with that. I understand it. It's better than Nicky Delmonico. He'll be up soon. I don't know when soon is. I don't know if it'll be against this Kansas City series this weekend. I would imagine it's at least in the start of the Milwaukee split. And I guess that brings up to the 10,000-pound gorilla in the room. It's Nick Madrigal's eligible. The service time game is over.
How mad are you going to be when he's not in the lineup Friday?
Not as mad as you think. All right. So, like I said, I went deep into negative town, man. Like, I was fucking bummed, dude. I went golfing. I couldn't even have fun golfing because I was so mad.
Oh.
Like, it was pissing me off. I don't know why. I put the game on my phone. I was listening to it while I was golfing, and I was just getting pissed off. And, yeah, golf is like my happy place. Like, I go golfing to, like, clear my head and zen out a little bit. And I was just, I don't know. The White Sox got me all fucked up. But to the point now where if Madrigal isn't in the lineup this weekend versus Kansas City, not just Friday, this weekend. I mean, as we record this Thursday night, they haven't said anything. And I don't know if they're going to get him out there Friday before the game time. That seems like cutting it pretty close. But I guess, I mean, I'm not even going to get mad about shit anymore like that. I can't do it. I'm going to cut 10 years off of my life. So you guys saw I had to take fucking blood pressure medicine just to woosah. And I don't know. I'm going to try to stay up on this. I mean, Leury Garcia has been playing well, but he's still a defensive liability in my opinion, where Nick Madrigal.
Oh no.
I'm reading stats while I'm talking. Nick Madrigal is coming off a season where he won a Gold Glove, and probably 3 out of your 5 pitchers in your rotation are known ground ball pitchers. You want a Gold Glove anything in any position in the infield. So you put Nicky Delmonico.
Oh boy, that's twice now. One more.
Nicky Delmonico on a train to wherever, and then you get Nick Madrigal, put him at second. And I've said this and you guys can vouch for it. I've said this at least 5 times on the show. Leury Garcia is a guy you need to have on your roster. Every team needs to have that guy, especially in this season where Marlins are dropping like flies, but like the COVID shit can happen anytime, anywhere. Having a guy that can slide into any one of the 7 positions and hold it down. I mean, he's better in the outfield, in my opinion, but hold it down at any position. But you could put him in your lineup and you're not really too worried about him. That's a guy you need on your squad during this kind of crazy shit. So you need Leury Garcia on the roster. What you don't need on the roster right now is Ryan Goins. You don't need Nicky Delmonico. So I don't know. I think Nick Madrigal should come up. I've said it. I'm not going to beat this dead horse, dude. Nick Madrigal should be up. I think it'll be, if I was going to bet on it, I'd probably say the Milwaukee series.
What would be the reason though?
I don't know.
To
I have
not,
no idea. I'm done trying to figure out what the White Sox are going to do.
we know why
Right.
he's not up. Why he wasn't up the first week. Like we know
Right.
why. Like that's whatever they want to say. We know why. But like, what
You
would
know-
be the reason after that? I just don't
They're going to
understand.
say some bullshit like he's working on his timing. Like what at Woodfield Mall? Like, come on, dude. But so I think he should be up. And cards on the table, I think Andrew Vaughn should be up.
Takes
I'd
whose
rather
spot?
have Andrew Vaughn up here than Zach Collins.
Oh, I don't disagree. I don't know why Zach Collins is on.
Zach Collins not going to catch. McCann's hitting really well. Grandal's one of the best defensive catchers in the league. You notice I said defensive for Grandal because at the plate it is not looking smooth. He looks uncomfortable. I don't get it. But anyways,
He's just not that good. He's 30.
Andrew Vaughn comes up. That you get him to see some major league pitching, pitch hit. Maybe he plays first base a couple games, DH, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing in Schaumburg that they can't do up with the big squad. So
Or live BP, I guess, because teams
Right.
can't go out early. That's the only thing.
that might be it. But I guess that's if you're going to take my hot take here, I think they should have Andrew Vaughn up. Edwin looks good, but bro, he's 2 for 19 right now. And one of those two is the absolute cock shot he hit to the balcony. But
Despite some of the high scores we've seen for the Cubs and the White Sox, did you guys see the stat around how like the first week is gone for hitters? It's like all-time low batting average.
right, Christian Yelich is hitting like .48.
A lot of the greats are. They're hitting like Pete Alonso too. He's been
Yeah.
The league is at like 229 or something.
So I guess if you put it in that perspective, I got to take it easy on some of these guys. But like, I'm sorry, but Edwin just does not look good right now.
He looks at every very much bit of his 38, 37. How old
Yeah,
he is?
I'm not saying to completely scrap it because he's easily is a type of guy that can catch heat and just start going for you. But why not, dude? There's no AAA ball this year. Why not bring Andrew Vaughn up and just use this time? The kid's hitting the cover off the ball. He's done everything you wanted him to do. I don't
going to
know.
bat up seventh.
That's right.
I don't know. I don't think he's as good
They
as
can move Bob up if that's the case.
But
Now,
Well,
if you pull up Andrew Vaughn, he'd be better batting fifth than Zach Collins, who was batting fifth for some reason.
yeah, that dude, I don't know. People have been coming at me with a lot of bullshit on Twitter, like, "Oh, they're going to trade Madrigal and Vaughn for pitching." No, they're not. Stop. Those are literally the two guys that they wouldn't trade.
Time out. I do want to say, when our Sox writers for Sports Mockery, Emmett put out a poll, and for me, it was an obvious no-brainer. It should be an obvious no-brainer. It was like Andrew Vaughn and Nick Madrigal for Jacob deGrom. That's a no-brainer for the Sox.
That one, okay.
And somehow that poll,
wasn't it Andrew Vaughn and Michael Kopech?
Oh, and Kopech and Madrigal. I'd still do it for Jacob deGrom.
DeGrom's nasty, dude.
Michael Kopech hasn't pitched in like 2.5 years though.
Dude, so that's my thing. I've been a huge, avid supporter of Michael Kopech on this show and on Twitter. But if you could package him and like Zach Collins and get yourself like something, they're not all right. So they drafted Andrew Vaughn to do what? Replace Jose Abreu.
Yes.
Okay. And there's still no one else on this roster that's going to replace Jose Abreu.
Eloy.
Edwin's showing his age. No, Vaughn's your first baseman of the future.
Or your DH.
Or he's frozen.
Zoe froze.
Zoe froze, and it's a great actual like picture too right now.
Just keep talking.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
There you go.
You're back.
Or you're
back.
just like really still for a second.
Okay. So Eloy left. Eloy stays left. Andrew on future first baseman. You're right.
Yep. And then they don't have a second baseman on this team.
Go. You can get Lindor in a couple years.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, then yes. All right. Get Lindor. Yes. And then why not just go after Christian Yelich too while you're at it because he's in a slump. But
Trade Magical Vaughn and Kopech for Christian Yelich.
probably. How old's Christian Yelich? He's like 20 something, right?
28, 29.
Yeah, I'd probably make that deal. But yeah, dude. All right. So Jacob deGrom, if we're just going to throw names out there, yes, you make the trade for Jacob deGrom, dude. That's just silliness. I'm trying to get realistic. But if you could package like a Michael Kopech and a Zach Collins and get another decent arm.
Closer? Are you nervous at all about Kalame? Threw like 1,000 pitches on Wednesday.
I always am with him, dude. I mean, the rest of the bullpen looked really good. Marshall looked really good. Bummer looked really good. All these guys for the White Sox, pitching-wise, there's a theme going on where their second time around, they're looking way better than the first time against.
Let me tell you, though, I am very jealous of your guys' bullpen right now.
Yes, and so I'm not really too worried about it, but I mean, if I'm going to start making trades, let's start with like Collins and Kopech. You know what I mean? Like, let's slow down. But
all right, any let's see. So Kansas City got a sweep, right?
It'd be nice. You at least have to win that series. I mean, at the bare minimum, you got to win that series. Kansas City's pulling up their top pitching prospect for Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
That usually goes one or two ways. There's usually no middle with that. He either throws lights out or he gets lit up. But yeah, there's no reason not to take at least 2 or 3. And then you have the 2-2 with Milwaukee, where we go to Milwaukee for 2. Milwaukee comes here for 2. It'd be real interesting to see the lineups. Like I said, if no one gets called up, Adam Engels definitely earned the right field spot over Nicky Delmonico. If they were playing for it, 100% Adam Engels won that job. What I'm going to be really watching for in these series, obviously, is the continue of Louise Roberts' development. Obviously, like we've talked about 100 times now, the lineups, and a lot of it depends on who gets called up. But the big thing is the starting pitching. I mean, it's got to be better. Raylo's out for God knows how long.
I don't think he's coming back this year.
Yeah, and I'm not mad about it.
What do you think about Rodon? Rodon was like not good, but I mean,
yeah, I just
it was a disaster. It was kind of like the Yu Darvish start, kind of.
I just feel like his pitch selection was really interesting to me. It felt like he was leaning pretty heavy on the fastball, like real heavy fastball. Hold on, I'm pulling up his splits right now. Actually, game log because they only played one game. 5 earned runs, gave up 1 homer, 4 strikeouts, threw 71 pitches. I don't know. I wasn't completely thrilled with his performance, but again, I really feel like it's another guy that's going to be better the second time around. You know what I mean? It's just not the start we wanted for the White Sox, but I'm back from the dark place. I'm feeling pretty positive about it. And I'll tell you what, winning solves everything. And there's no better place to go do that than in Kansas City.
Now say the magic words.
Bring up Nick Madrigal.
And you don't sweat the Kansas City Royals.
It kind of came back and bite me in the dick last time. So
I don't want to say that you jinxed the Sox, but the Sox offense was hot, and then they got shut down for like 26 out of 27 innings.
What is their record? Have they won a game? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Royals are ahead of the Sox.
Well, everyone's ahead of the Sox. No, the Royals are 2-4 too.
Oh, there you go. You guys tied. Battle of the Cellar.
Yeah, they just don't. Their pitching, everyone's pitching's been better than the Sox, though. I was going to say their pitching's been better than the Sox. Everyone's pitching's been better than the Sox. They got 26 runs for. I don't know who's hot on the Royals right now. I don't even know who on this team.
The guy that the Cubs were trying to trade since last July. What's his name?
Whit Merrifield. Whit Merrifield's hitting 391. Salvador Perez has 2 home runs. Mikel Franco has 7 RBIs. Damn. Get it, kid.
They had a game where they scored 14 runs on the Tigers. I think that was one of the
games. Whit Merrifield's having a season. He's batting 391. He's got 7 RBIs, 2 home runs, 3 doubles, stolen base. His OPS is 1.223.
Decent.
Yeah, no, Whit Merrifield's having a day. So bring up Nick Madrigal. Take 2 out of 3. And, yeah, that's about it for the White Sox. I mean, again, I'm back to positive. I'm going to stay up about this. And winning cures everything. But I will say that it feels like people are at their wits' end definitely with Cooper, but with Ricky as well. And again, to Kevin's point, we don't know who's pulling the levers back there. We don't know what's going on with that. So Zoe says this now until he sees Nikki D in the cleanup and Nikki M still not a team. I don't think we got to worry about that. I don't think we got to worry about that.
But there's still like a chance because it's Ricky.
Yeah, I know.
I think there's a chance that Nikki DeMarco would ever be batting fourth in 2020, and it happened.
Yeah, there's always second. Sorry, little Yelper. I just now saw that I can see your comments. I had to click something else. I really don't think that'll happen again, but I also didn't think I'd be 36 years old and 10 pounds overweight. So, like, shit happens. You know what I mean? Like, you get it. I get it.
I mean, what happened last time he got replaced?
Who?
Rich Renteria.
Yeah, they did a thing. They did
a thing with a thing. He's good with young guys, but
maybe Theo was onto something. Maybe he's not the right manager for a rebuild. But I will say the Sox players definitely respond well to Ricky. Like, they've been very public that and it's not like they're in situations where they're asked direct questions. It feels like they're going out of their way to, like, publicly show admiration for Ricky. He's definitely a player's manager, but maybe you keep him on as a bench coach and you get another manager or something. I don't know, but, like, I don't know if you could do that. I don't think he would stand for that. But
bring back Robin.
It can't end well for Renteria. It can't, unfortunately. He's a nice guy. He's a very good guy, but he's just not there. If they don't get over the hump with him there, he's going to have that reputation tagged with him forever, which is he's a great guy with young ball players. He'll hold the water for a bit. And then when it's time to really make that jump, you got to go get somebody else. I mean, again, the Cubs went from him to Madden and immediately make the playoffs. And it could have been perfect timing, but I don't think it just seems to be that he keeps everything in line and he teaches the kid's good enough. He's obviously a good human being, but that doesn't win ball games. And so it's probably not going to turn out well for him, unfortunately, which sucks. Because
it does suck.
We get on with this. Do you think he's going to be the manager next year?
You can't say that because what if
Number one, I have no clue what his contract situation is.
Right.
So.
I don't think anybody does. Isn't it one of those things where, like, he signed like a weird contract and like secret?
Apparently, it's just like the Don Cooper like under the table contract.
There's something fucky going on with that Don Cooper thing. I don't like to admit it, but Kali's got me thinking about all kinds of shit.
He's the one who knows where all the bodies are buried.
Right. But I don't know about Ricky, man. I'm not pro or con Ricky. I know he was a vital part in recruiting Louise Roberts. I know a lot of his players really respect him and think he's a great guy. I don't know who's making these lineups, but they're terrible and something needs to change. So,
and by the way, if these are being influenced by the front office, awful job by them too.
Yeah, well, that's why I said it that way. Like, that's just not. If that's the front office, then that's terrible too. So, moving on to the north side, got the Cubes. They came out of the gate hot, and we've talked about this many of times before the season started. That in a 60-game sprint, it's all about a hot start. And the Cubs sit right now 4-2 with their Thursday night game being rained out. A nice +5 run differential. They're putting up runs, man. I mean, we keep talking about the high-powered offense on the south side, but the Cubs are putting up runs, dude. And they're putting them up in bunches. Even when they got tagged a little bit on Wednesday by the Reds, they still put up 7.
Mm-hmm. They had a mini comeback. They're down 9-0, scored 5, and then they scored 2 more in the 9th. But, of course, the bullpen gave up 27 more runs, so it didn't matter.
But I do want to start out, and I know you were trolling the shit out of me to start the show, but
don't you dare.
Isn't it nice to see your best young infield prospect getting at-bats and hitting .389? And he's playing damn good baseball from everything I've seen. I know you guys watch it way more than me. I'm going to shut up in a minute, but he's 7 for 18 with a double. He's got 5 RBIs. I mean, only 3 strikeouts. He still hasn't taken a walk yet, but he's making contact. He's putting the ball in play, and that's the type of player Madrigal is going to be too. But I don't know.
Let's not put these lofty expectations on Nick Madrigal to meet Nico Horner just yet. So.
No, and here's a kicker too. Would you guys been able to guess at the beginning of the season that the leading hitter for both Cubs team or both Chicago teams would be a rookie? Because Horner's leading it for the Cubs and Lou Bob has the highest for the White Sox. So you have it's
I
weird.
guess one of those two, not Nico. Yeah,
not Nico. Louise Roberts, I might have had. Dude, Louise Roberts is a freak, but
you didn't. Oh, sorry, you didn't mention this, by the way. And I as the old ball coach, I do like to point out one thing too that you should be very happy with the White Sox, and that is fantastic defense. They've only made 1 error in the first 6 games of the season. They have a .995 fielding percentage. That is fantastic for
That's a 1 error with an asterisk because Luis Garcia has made some plays that were not counted as errors. But I know what you're saying, Kevin, and I agree. Now imagine that awesome defense with a Gold Glove second baseman.
Kevin, I want you to get into the hitting mechanics of Nico because this guy is doing exactly what the Cubs missed all of like the past year and a half, where this guy just knows how to hit, can get his bat on the ball. Oh, what happens?
That's a really good idea. We need like a special theme music, and we'll call it Coach Kev's Hitting Corner or Coach's Corner, and you break down people's swings every week. Because, dude, Kevin, I'm telling you. People love when you do that shit on Twitter, dude. I don't know if you noticed it or not. People absolutely because you know what you're talking about, and you speak normal. You're not trying to like dial it up with fancy words or something.
We need a good and bad. I want a breakdown of Nicky Delmonico next week.
Hopefully he's not on. We're only going to talk about players on the roster, active roster. But yeah, no, do Nico Horners because I'm very curious.
It's good. He's a contact guy. He's a guy he's a bat handler. He's the kind of guy that you want. I think you and I in our when we were messaging during the game, every time he comes up with a runner at third, less than 2 outs, I feel like he's going to get the job done every single time. He's going to put the ball in play and shorten up. He got the sac fly the other day. The knock. He had the base hit to right center over the second baseman's head. Just shortening up and just punching the baseball and getting the job done. And that's not something you're going to see from. You're not going to see Javi ever do something like that. I don't think Wilson. I think Contreras has done the same thing too. He's actually been really good with 2 outs, getting the job done, actually shortening up. But some of these, the sluggers at the top of the order, they're not going to shorten up. So when you get someone at the bottom of the order that comes up in a situation where you just need to move a runner over or you need to score a guy, Nico has such a quiet swing. It's you're not going to see him generate a ton of power over the course of his career. He's going to get stronger as a human being because he's going to grow into some man muscle or whatever. But he's going to be a guy that's going to be hitting gaps and hitting line drives and manufacturing runs, and he's going to be a hard guy to shift because he's going to be able to put it where he's a gap to gap guy, which those are very valuable wherever they're at. But I mean, obviously, as he progresses with his career, his swing is really it fits really well in a leadoff spot. I think it fits really well in a 2-hole. And I think it fits really well in a 6, 7, or 8 because it's a bat control situation. Those are run either finding a way to get on because he seems to show a pretty good eye up there. He has a good command of the strike zone too. I don't know how many walks he's taken this year. I don't think he's taken many. He hasn't taken many, but he's also only struck out 3 times. So I mean, you have however many 18 plate appearances and you're a rookie and you don't strike out but 3 times. That's fantastic. The guys that are striking out are Schwarber, Baez, Contreras. Happen obviously KB's double digits with 10. To have a guy in the lineup that's not going to punch out like that, it fills a little bit of a hole, and that's something the Cubs have needed in their lineup for a while. It's a home run or nothing seems to be, and now you've got some guys, and I think Hap's done a good job down there too. I love Hap in the 9-hole, I really do. And I like Victor Caratini's another bat handler. Like those are guys that they do something different than what the other guys do, and the Cubs lineup over the last couple of years has seemed almost like a cookie cutter. Photocopy of each guy. Each guy's basically the same kind of player, and they didn't have that diversity in the lineup where you have that. I mean, but I love it. I mean, every time he comes up to the plate in those situations, I get giddy, and I usually message you guys. I'm like, here we go. Let's see him get it done now too, because he's basically gotten it done almost every single time when he was put in those situations.
I think it's only been like 2 times that. Like I think there was a bases loaded situation where he had like a check swing that ended up into a dope play, and then there might have been like, and then that's straight. I mean, Sonny Gray is just. That was the entire lineup. But you mentioned KB, and like the other guys have struggled too, but KB just hasn't looked good at all. And we talked about it a little, or I think you talked about it over the weekend a bit, how he's pressing. Like, what are you seeing? Just, is there anything mechanical, or is it just it's in his head? Is
it's
it
in his head.
Just pressure?
It's his head. He's chasing a lot more upstairs. Excuse me. Whoa. Sorry. He's chasing a lot more upstairs. He's chasing. That's not him. He's not a guy that chases balls up and out. Now he'll chase upstairs, but they're usually in the strike zone. He gets tied up and in a lot, just because of his long swing. But he's chasing balls 6, 8, 10 inches outside of the zone up top, and that's not him. And I can, again, you've seen the kid a million times in the course of my lifetime, at least. I know his body language pretty well. You can't not know the body language. I mean, that doesn't change when you're a 13, 14-year-old kid all the way up to 18 to, a pro baseball player at 30. His body language is telling me a ton. And I think that day off was really good for him that he got. I really wish the Cubs were playing. He needs to get back out there, but it's a good time to reset. But he does seem like he's a little bit in his own head. He's pressing. He's trying a bit too hard. I think he's trying to impress at the top of the order. He wants to win, and he's very hard on himself, which is a big deal for him. And, but I've seen, I used to call it bitch face. I've seen bitch face a lot more this year than I've seen in past years already, just because of the frustration. He has a face that he makes that, you get used to that when you see a kid every day, when you see them fail and struggle sometimes. And, when he tilts his head back too, he does he does that look up to the sky kind of thing. Like he knows what he did wrong because he's so in tune with his body and his swing. So it's more pressing than anything else. And it's pitch selection, but I feels like pitchers are capitalizing. I mean, they're going upstairs a lot more, it seems, in his at-bats this year. It used to be the changeup on the outer half, I think, that he struggled with. And I'm not sure if maybe they saw something that maybe he fixed it. They thought that maybe this is more vulnerable, where he's more vulnerable, but they've been going upstairs and taking advantage of it quite a bit. So it's compounding to him. You hope he kind of shakes it off a little bit, but he will. He's a professional. I mean, Mike Trout shook it off last night. So, Mike Trout was hitting like 180, and then last night he goes 3 for 5 and hits a homer and a double, and he's off and running now. KB just needs to have one of those KB days. Once he does, he'll be fine. Like Javi. Javi was struggling, and then he had his day. And once you get that day, you're off the schneid. It's just like, okay, now I can exhale and just go. And I think KB hasn't gotten that yet. I think everybody else has, and I think his train's a little late right now to the station, but it'll get there.
Now, one of the positives of just having a shitty bullpen, but having a 4-2 record, I saw this on Cubs Twitter on Wednesday night, where you don't get that chance of just figuring out who is eventually going to be good for you in the bullpen, while they're 4-2, they have a winning record. So that's a luxury. And I guess that's the most positive spin that you can take right now out of how awful the bullpen is. But I need to ask you, that was it Tuesday night? Craig Kimbrell was that Tuesday or Monday? Whatever it was.
It was game 1 of the series.
Monday, so it was Monday. Comes in 3-run lead, and everyone already is on edge. Even with the 3-run lead, we're like, shit. Hopefully he gets the 3 outs before he gives up 3 runs. And he couldn't get 3 outs. But David Ross leaves him out there. Like, he walked 4 guys, hit a guy. I think he hit a guy to drive in a run. Walked a guy to drive in a run too. He doesn't have all the points from it. We saw Sonny Gray on Wednesday where he was getting guys swinging at his breaking pitches that were like a foot outside. Like Javi Baez missed that ball by like 2 feet or something. Nico looked terrible. A lot of guys looked terrible on Gray's breaking pitches. Every time Kimbrell was throwing his curveball, Reds hitters were just spitting at it. They're like, nope, I know that's coming. That's in the dirt. Nope. Fastball up. Nope. Fastball away. Nope. Like, he's not fooling anyone right now. And do you take him out of the closer's role right now?
I think you give him one more shot, but I think maybe maybe he's tipping pitches. I don't know. Like, it feels like everybody sees it's coming. I mean, Monday night, literally, I kid you not, I have my Apple Watch on, and I'm not. I shit you not. This is the crazy part. I mean, it keeps track. I always would wonder what my pulse is during like the games, right? And so like when I'm coaching baseball, and I've looked at my watch. I check my pulse like I'm coaching, out on the base pass, and I'm looking at my watch because it's a tight ball game. We got a runner at third. There's one out. It's the bottom of the 7th inning, and I'm looking at my pulse, and I'm like, okay, that's not too bad. My pulse is sitting pretty decent. I have not had an elevated pulse like I did Monday night. Monday night, it took me a good 45 minutes to like come back down and decompress after that because it wasn't just Kimbrel. It was the entire clown show, dumpster fire, brush fire, whatever you want to call it. And my girlfriend's like, why do you keep sighing? Because I kept going, and she's like, what? I go, I am trying to take my shit down right now because I'm on tilt. My pulse was hitting like 100 beats per minute. It was terrible.
All the feeling.
I want to read that stat from that Monday night game because it was stupid how many balls the bullpen. So the bullpen pitched 4 innings on Monday night after John Lester. John Lester was throwing like 90 miles per hour, didn't give up a hit in 5 innings. The Reds were just up there like making weak contact. I think they hit 2 hard balls all night against Lester. The bullpen comes in and like cannot throw a strike at all. 4 innings, Cubs bullpen threw 129 pitches. 4 innings, 129 pitches. Only 62 of them were for strikes. Less than half of the pitches the bullpen threw were for strikes.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Bullpen.
Disgusting. Okay, so I asked Kevin this.
Mm-hmm.
We all saw what Kimbrel was last year. Bad. He's had like the couple minor injuries, that like the knee, something else, a leg.
Yep.
This year, the velocity's still not back. He looked just dog shit on Monday. Do you take him out of the closer role, or how many more chances do you give this guy?
What's the alternative?
I mean, right now, I guess you go. I mean, my guy, Rowan Thicke,
Yep.
him, Jeffries, give him. I mean, Jeffries hasn't looked that good, but at least he's getting outs. At this point, give me outs.
I mean, look at their bullpen stats.
I'm looking right now.
It's disgusting. It is.
I appreciate you guys pointing this out because it's making me feel better about the White Sox starting pitching.
3 of the top 4 runs allowed, like players. Kyle Hendricks got lit. Obviously, yes, he's terrible on the road, but he got lit yesterday. But you take, Kyle Hendricks has allowed the most runs because he's thrown 13 1/3 innings. But then the next 3 guys on the list of most runs allowed are all relievers: Norwood, Brothers, and is it Tepera? Is that how you say it? Then you Darvish, who gave up 3. But you got Dwayne Underwood on there. I mean, when you look at it, it's ridiculous. I mean, it goes Hendricks, Norwood, Brothers, Tepera, Darvish, Underwood, Maples. And then you got guys like, again, Wick. None. I mean, he's only thrown 2/3 of an inning. The other night, who did they break? I think they brought in, was it Sadler maybe to close the other night to wrap it up?
He had a scoreless inning, or let's see, the 9th. I honestly don't remember.
I feel like he came in I think I'll pull it up. I feel like he came in and he actually looked pretty good. Was it Sadler?
I think it was Tepera, but even he gave up a 2-run home run.
Yeah. So I was like,
he looked great. He struck out the side, but in that process, he also gave up a 2-run home run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So but
here's the stat. The Cubs bullpen has walked 20 guys and 95 batters faced. They have a 21.1% walk rate, 9.64 ERA.
So here's my thing to your original question. My big thing with Kimbrel, and I mean, I'm not like, going to hit you with a mind-blowing take here, though. With his velocity being 90 right now, that's not the Craig Kimbrel you signed up for, man.
That's what I said.
It's not there.
2 weeks ago, he is not the guy. He is not the guy who's going to throw 98, 99 anymore. He is the guy who's throwing 95. I think he topped out at 97 on Monday when he came in.
Yeah,
he was working on his changeup because he's like, I know that I can't throw as hard anymore, so I'm not great. We already know he's lost the fastball. He's not throwing. He's throwing 95. He's the mid-90s guy now.
It's the 4 walks, man.
He hasn't given up a hit yet. He's only given up walks. His whip is 12 without allowing a single hit.
No, 4 walks and a hit batters.
5 free passes in what? How many innings? What, a third of an inning? One inning total?
He didn't get out. In 0 innings.
Yeah, his ERA is 54.
He did get out. I'm sorry. He did get out. He did get 1 out.
He's got one inning logged. He got one inning pitched, I think.
His ERA is 54.
Oh no, games
right?
pitched. Sorry.
I mean,
it's
just that
a third of an inning. Wow.
Again, because we're 100%, we're 1/10 through this season. You're gonna have to cut bait quick in all aspects of the game.
No time.
I think,
my big thing for Monday, and it is for like, it doesn't matter if it's a 100. Last year too, we saw it a lot of times with the bullpen and just leaving guys out there when you see that they don't have it. David Ross is up there again, guys. 4 walks and a hit batter. He didn't have it after he went ahead 0-2 to Castellanos, threw like 4 straight balls, then threw a wild pitch, and then had a ground out. And then after that was 3 straight walks and a hit batter, or like mixed in was that. That's at least 2 batters too long. You can immediately tell when a guy doesn't have it or not. There is no need to just, he's a veteran. This is my closer. I'm going to give him a long leash. I think David Ross was like, that was rust. It's like, hey man, you could have said that last year, but we saw him for 2.5 months last year, and this is what he looked like. So I can't buy that this was rust.
No, and the eye test. It's not like the eye test said something that different than the stats. The eye test. I mean, he looked like Medusa out there, like turning everybody to stone.
Like this wasn't like the first time.
Oh,
it's not like, oh wow, Craig Kimbrell like lost his control, like bad night for him.
We got a good question here from our guy Yumper. Do you think Marquez or Adozole will be eventually in the pen?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know if they want to bring up Marquez yet. He's still a little younger. I think he's like 21, maybe. I think he just turned 21.
Alzolay's fine.
But Alzolay, bring him up. Alzolay, put him in the bullpen. He's the guy who's been a starter. I know he's had his injuries, but hey, this is another guy where you're getting to the point where you need to see if he can do it or not. I don't know if he's going to be a starter in the future or not, but that's not an option right now. If he can work in the bullpen a couple innings at a time and be effective, that should be his role. I do think eventually some of these guys, Brex Brothers, hey man, you look great in summer camp, but can't come in to get out a lefty and then walk the lefty. Can't do that, and then gives up the grand slam to Castellanos. Just give me the younger guys.
Here's my question to you, Aldo, again, if Mills keeps throwing the way he did his first start, and Chatwood somehow is doing what he's doing, and Quintana comes back, do you go with a 6 rotation, or do you say, hey, Tyler, you've been fantastic. You've got your command back. You want to take the ball in the 9th for us? Is that a possibility?
I view Jose Quintana coming back as like the best thing that could happen to the Cubs bullpen, because either he just goes back into the rotation and you put Tyler Chatwood, where I think he was in the closer's role for like a little bit last year when the Cubs like had no one, when they lost like 3 arms in the span of a week. And I think he did close out a couple games. That would be great. Sure. Give me Tyler Chatwood as the closer. Like that guy's in his filthy stuff. Fine. Or if you want to keep Chatwood in the rotation and you also want to just bring back Quintana in the rotation because you trust him more than Alec Mills. Okay. I'm fine with that too. Put Alec Mills in, and that's a guy who can give you like 2 to 3 innings once every couple of days, or like maybe twice a week, and that can save your bullpen. Or if you say fuck it, Q, you lost your job, you're in the bullpen now. He can do that role.
Gil Gonzalez role.
Get guys out 3 outs.
Yeah, just give me guys who can get outs, because right now it's painful, Zoe.
Yeah. It's funny when I scroll down Chatwood's stats on ESPN. The first thing that pops up under the latest news is a piece by Jesse Rogers saying, "Really, the Cubs bullpen should be a strength down the stretch." That's the headline.
Should it?
My question, though, now that we've officially reached the point in this, condensed season where all the service time bullshit's over, do you see more teams, not just the Cubs and Sox, just more teams in general, maybe bringing up a young pitcher and throwing him in the pen just to get him some innings, just because there's nowhere else for him to, what is he going to just throw live BP? I mean, that's great and all, but we all know that's not like the real thing.
The only thing that I'm seeing that could maybe deter teams from doing that is that we're seeing a lot of injuries to pitchers.
Yes. Big
and maybe you don't want to do that to a young guy. That's the only reason I can see why.
Right.
But other than that, Yeah.
Play your
why-
best at this point.
Play your
I mean,
best guy.
what was the kid? Shit, what's the kid's name?
Royals.
Oh, Blue Jays.
Oh yes, Nate Pearson.
Yeah, he was throwing some gas, dude.
That and somebody pointed out on Twitter. I think he was drafted in 2017, and the Cubs could have drafted him, but they went with this other guy from LSU who just hasn't been good.
Dude,
Miss.
Big Nate's for Toronto. His stuff was just filthy, man. I mean, so I guess that's a good point though. With all these injuries to pitchers, maybe just out of necessity, we start seeing some of these younger arms get a shot.
Like I think a guy like I don't think Marquez. I want him because he's that guy that can throw 100 and just crazy stuff from the left side. But maybe he's like still a year away. But a guy like Carraway, who everyone is raving about, and the day that they drafted him, people were like, "Hey, this guy can like pitch right now or like pitch later in the summer." I think if the Cubs bullpen just doesn't have like right now, they have 3 good relievers or 3 guys that you trust in: Kyle Ryan, Rowan Wick, kind of, and like half of like 2 other guys that you kind of trust. So you just need anyone who can get out. But the thing is, Carraway is a guy who also struggled with his location.
So I kind of feel the same way with the White Sox with Garrett Crochet. Like these dudes pitched in college. You know what I mean? Like, and just before we even go down that road, I understand college is way different than the pros, but these are guys that are drafted that you see he could pitch, he could start tomorrow. Okay, bet.
Right.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, we can't throw Raylo out there. Gio Gonzalez was not impressive when he came in for Raylo. Like,
and then you got Jimmy Lambert who got hurt again.
Jimmy Lambert got hurt. Garrett Crochet's he's in Schaumburg. Give him a game against the Royals. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Just throw him out there. Let's see what the kid could do. I mean, you got Dane Dunning too, waiting in the wings. I don't think Gio Gonzalez makes it the whole season as a start in the rotation. I just don't. It looked like he was throwing glorified BP out there. It was pretty bad. So yeah, I mean, that's where I'm seeing with the Cubs. And then the other thing with this season that I don't think I'm the only person to notice, but I've been watching a lot of baseball. I know you two have too, just because sports are back. I'm going to watch sports, but dude, the umpires have been terrible. Like it's been, and I know some guys are out and some other guys are crew chiefs now and getting more work behind it, but it's bad.
It's awful.
It's really bad.
I have to say, great. I'm so happy that Wilson Contreras is now turned into like an above average framer because boy, oh boy, was he stealing a lot of strikes in the Red Series. And that also part of that is just fooling umpires and umpires calling pitches like 3 to 4 inches outside as strikes. But yeah, so I mean, it's I don't know where they're gonna. I mean, they're going to. Right? They talked about it this past year, where like they're getting close to. We're just gonna have the whatever technology to call balls and strikes.
Yeah, I just don't understand. And I'm not just saying it's like, oh, the White Sox are 2-4. It's no, it's across the league, like just brutal calls.
Joe West too gets dosed in the head yesterday or today or whatever it was. Was it today or yesterday? Gets hit with the backswing and knocks him silly. He leaves the game and the strike zone approved.
So Zoe, I know that you like you want to throw about umpires. Kevin, do you for like at least balls and strikes?
I like the human element, but it's not like it used to be back like with like Glavine and Maddox, where like they'd spend the first few innings establishing their strike zone, and then in the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings, all of a sudden they're getting like 12 to 16 inches off the dish too, like blatantly fooling the umpire. That's a comfort thing that you do. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, that's one of the things that I mean, if you're going to do replay and stuff, replay slows everything down. I'm not entirely like a huge fan of it, but I don't mind getting an efficient strike zone because, then again, I don't mind it not because the pitchers are already at a disadvantage. Like every single rule change that they make is putting pitchers at a more of a disadvantage. So you've got a ball with no spin rate. You've got juiced balls. I mean, at this point, God, if it's like the only bone you throw at pitchers, I guess giving them an occasional bad strike, it's probably not the worst thing that happened. I mean, you're not intentionally doing it like they are with the loading up the offenses with some of these things, but I mean, I wouldn't hate it. But I'm not either way. It just makes you want to like yell at the umpires. And if they take away that, then what are they going to argue about? That takes away some of the fun too. And I like the mask up argument the other day. Where like, time out. Hold on, let me put my mask on. All right, now I'm going to come spit in your face. Like that was kind of funny. I don't know if it's the Pirates game. I think it was. It was awesome.
But I will give him credit in the Wednesday White Sox Cleveland game. He was consistently bad on both sides. Like everyone knew the low strike was in play. Everyone knew high and tight, like 4 inches off the plate, was still in play. I mean,
what do you think about now, Kevin? You said you mentioned want the human element there. What do you think about this compromise? I think it was Len Casper who brought it up during the one of the Cubs games this week. In hockey, and Zoe, I mean, both of you guys follow hockey closely.
Mm-hmm.
They have line officials, and then they have the head guy. Those guys don't change. It's not like they rotate. In MLB, there's the 4 umpires in a crew, and they rotate. What if you take out 15 of the best umpires at calling balls and strikes, and that is their job? They do not rotate. You get if the guys are like 97, 98% right compared to guys who are bringing that average down, just to keep those other guys away from calling balls and strikes. And if you want to keep the umpires calling balls and strikes and not have technology do it, okay, but just stick with that group of guys.
It's not too bad. That's another good solution too with that, and even to go along with that is, a grading system for umpires. You can still, the strike zones, even if there's not a robot umpire, how many times they were wrong over the course of a game. And so if you have that, you've got a grading scale. The umpires union has too much of a hold on Major League Baseball as a whole. But if you were able to actually have accountability for piss poor, strike zones, I think that would be great. I think umpires should be pulled from crews if they can't, if you have a real bad day behind the dish, that's one thing. But if, like, say over the course of like three appearances behind the dish as an umpire, you were only at like an 88% accuracy rate, you should be pulled from behind the dish. You should not be able to be. There should be repercussions for poor umpiring. I mean, there is no accountability for it. They puff their chest out and the union protects them. And, if they're shitty, they're shitty and you got to deal with it. And the umpires, they're humans, but their egos are ridiculous. That's at any level. My God, like asking for help is like pulling teeth, even at the high school level when there's a bad call. So accountability.
7-inning doubleheaders official starting August 1st. Frankie Lindor might be the hottest baseball player in the world right now. He just hit another bomb in Minnesota.
Ooh.
Indians up 2-0. We record these on Thursday nights. Bieber's throwing a gem too.
There's no pitching in Baltimore tonight. Top of the third, 5-4 with the runner on third already.
Yeah, that's what it is. But
all right, so thoughts, guys. 7-inning doubleheaders.
Cool.
Fine.
Yeah, it's awesome. I don't dilly-dally. Have 30 minutes between games. Duke it back up. Let's go.
I guess stats this season really, no one's breaking any records anyways. So,
I mean, Luba might hit 400.
Yeah,
that's going to count. So you have to.
Well, he'll be batting 7th the whole season.
I mean, this is just a thing. Getting closer and closer. I mean, 2/5 of the NL East has a week off. The extra inning rule, the now 7-inning doubleheaders. The more and more these things change, just like,
yeah,
sure, it's 20. Again, this is just going to end with everyone saying
it's 2020.
Yeah,
right.
Sure,
ride the crazy train, and just every time they make a new rule, they change something just because of whatever's going on. Just wear it and love it and adapt. Yep. It's fun. It's still fun. I mean, I love the sending in. Like, okay, so they're going to do 7-inning doubleheader starting August 1st. Great. Like they changed the playoff format right before opening day. Like it'd be flat. We all knew that this was going to be a kind of a war of attrition when it comes to like consistency because of the inconsistent or lack thereof of, dealing with a virus that doesn't give two craps about what you're doing. So they have to be adaptive, but for fans, it makes it kind of fun. Get inventive. We talked about this on the show a few times. They need to start miking these guys up. Turn that damn crowd music or noise down. I want to hear the shit talking. I loved it in the Dodger game the other night when you hear like, what was it? Joe Kelly was like, what does he say? A nice swing, bitch. yells at it, what's his name, and then later on he was talking or something, and someone says, "Get on the mound, motherfucker!" Like it's like, oh, I like this. I want to hear more of that. I don't want to hear clap, clap, clap. Some DJ in a booth. I want to hear the raw emotion of these dudes. Like when what I want to know what Javi and Willie were yelling against at the Reds the other day. I want to hear it, and they just crank
Sonny
up.
Sonny Gray at Rizzo. After Rizzo leaned in on a hit by pitch in the first inning, and after
Joe Kelly to the Astros.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about that suspension?
Stupid.
8 games for Joe Kelly.
I think he'll appeal and he'll get busted down to 4.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't throw at a dude's head.
He didn't though. He threw he was 5 feet behind him. Like that's not.
I do agree that it sends the wrong message that he got a worse punishment than the guys that got caught cheating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2 games. I think 8's a little excessive. I think 2 games would have been fine. It would have got your point across. Whatever.
I just hated the at first I said I was fine with it. I mean, yeah, he didn't hit them, but he was trying to.
He wasn't trying to hit him. If he wanted to hit him, he would have hit him. Let's be honest here.
I mean,
that's true. But the whole sad face and the whole boo-hoo and all that shit, that was
the whole MLB saying he has a history and taunting. Like, come on. You're just going to suspend guys for taunting now?
Yeah. And the other
that's weak.
I like
bat flips are taunting, so
I'd like to be the first official podcast to wish Mike Trout, friend of the show, congratulations. Mike's wife had their kid. He has been put on paternity list, so he's going to take a couple games off to be with his family. Hopefully he comes back.
Sources say nickname for the kid, Zoe. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, because we're tight. It's cool. I don't like to brag about it, but yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Wild, but we got baseball all weekend, jam-pack. Make sure you stay tuned with us. We're going to be doing probably another Sunday night show, maybe Monday. We'll see how it goes, just to put a cap on the weekend's baseball. Damn, Shane Bieber struck out five of the 9 Twins the first time through the order.
So, okay. Can you admit that you were a little wrong about the Cleveland starting rotation?
Yeah, I'll take that one. They were better. The guys that I've never heard their name before were a little bit better than I thought.
It's true, because I didn't know them either.
But
they just know how to fucking develop. I think because of that episode of Lockdown Sox and Herb Lawrence, he looked it up. I think half their starting rotation right now, because I think they're going with a 6-man.
Yep.
I think half the guys that they drafted, or half of that rotation right now, is from the 2016 draft. So
the Plesac game was just mind blowing to me, because there was meat being thrown and guys were just, I don't know. It was weird.
I just saw a really good point. And we talk about the 7-inning doubleheaders. What does that do to sports books?
Right? Yeah.
That's your name.
They're gonna love that.
Well, they had to change they can't do the 5-inning lines anymore. They have to do the 3-inning lines, 4-inning lines.
All right. I want to close the show on this because I want to see what you guys think. So, Gio Stanton's doing what he's been doing. He had on Thursday night here, his first inning signal was 117 exit velo. His third inning signal was 116. So, dude's crushing the ball, right?
Yeah, the home run that was 121.
Yeah, and he put it in a different atmosphere. So he's crushing the ball. He's playing great baseball. Yankees are rolling right now. But then I saw one of the ESPN guys, I don't know if it was Chipper or one of them, said he's one of the players that would really benefit from playing in an empty stadium. And so when that was said, people on Twitter right away, from what I saw, were taking that as saying that he's kind of a mental midget and he can't take basically just people yelling shit at him or whatever and without the crowd. I just thought that was crazy interesting. Does that really make that big of a difference?
Yeah. I mean, there's energy the fans give off energy. I mean, that's a lot of human beings in one place to push forward. And I think you're going to, we've even talked about it here. I mean, a Yu Darvish, he sets himself on fire when something goes poorly like when something quirky happens in a game. I don't think he's a crowd issue. But then there's other players that, maybe they build off the crowd as well, and so they're maybe not as sharp because they have that intensity. They don't have the intensity of the crowd buzz. But then there's also people that that might be better off without it. I mean, have you ever been to a world championship boxing match, like a real big one? You feel it when you walk in there. It's electric. There's the heat. There's energy. You can cut it with a knife, and that's not a pun. That doesn't make sense when there's a good, intense crowd, and Chicago fans are intense. But all baseball fans are passionate. When you don't have that, it's weird. But I think it does benefit some of the guys that are a little bit more mental midgets, and I think that it really does affect the emotional players. They've got to almost find energy somewhere else, which is hard.
I mean, is it that, or is he just healthy now? Because he's been hurt for like a couple
years. I'm sure it has something to do with him just being healthy now. But like, it was just weird how they phrased it. Like, oh yeah, he's really going to benefit from not having to deal with the crowd. I mean, he got the big paper. He plays in the Bronx. A lot comes with that, but now it's empty, and he's literally hitting the laces off balls. So I don't know. Just something to think about. It was weird.
It's there's maturity and there's pressure you put on yourself, and I mean, look at Chris Bryant. I mean, if Chris was struggling like this in front of a crowd, what do you think? I mean, what is he 2 for 22? What do they think they're going to do? What would the crowd really be doing if Chicago was attending a game and Chris was 2 for 22? He'd be getting booed every time he walks back to the dugout in a place allegedly called the friendly confines. Not so friendly anymore when you struggle. And he doesn't have to deal with that. You as a player, you could suck in a game, and the only pressure you put on yourself is you and then your teammates and your ownership. You stay off social media, you'll never even know people are upset. It's a completely you're in a weird, like, isolated bubble away from some of that other stuff. So I mean, it's good for the strugglers, I think, maybe a little bit, but the emotional guys, it just does hurt a lot. But as a hitter, eliminating one part of the equation makes a difference.
Well, Christian Yelich is hitting .037, so the White Sox should definitely trade for him.
Well, because he's not in Milwaukee, he can't cheat right now. He's on the road.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right.
I'm not even joking.
I know, 12 strikeouts. Damn, Christian.
All on the road. Wow, what a coincidence.
Oh.
Here's a killer too, by the way. I think I mentioned it to you guys. And Jason and I were texting. He's texting me in the middle of the night after the Boston game, and
isn't he?
He threw well. He played great, really, really good defense. His PFP was fantastic. He made 2 really nice plays: a glove flip and then a ball that was knocked down by Alonso, and then he went. Jason didn't get caught napping. He went and recovered first, bang bang play at first, but. He texted me in the middle of the night, and I'm like, weird. And he's like, yeah, we're on the way back to Boston. I'm like, why are you texting me from the airplane? That's strange. And he's like, no. Major League organization, the New York Mets, and I'm not sure if this is everybody across the board, after everything happened with the Marlins in Philly, they had to take a chartered bus from Boston to New York overnight in the middle of the night. Like this is a Major League's, $1 billion organization, and because of precautions, they're putting them on buses right now. I mean, I thought that was really interesting, and how those guys. That's not a creature of comfort by any means.
Was it the Mets?
Yeah, Mets took a bus back from Boston to get back.
Seems like a Mets thing to do.
Who took him yard?
I forget. It was a solo jack.
2 innings pitched. He's given up 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run because it was 1 home run.
Yeah. Just barely went over that right center field, that little short gap in right field at Fenway.
Who the home run off?
I forgot who it was.
Oh, but he's rocking a 4.5 ERA. He's got a nice .50 whip.
Whip. Yeah, he's happy. He made a mistake. He left the ball a little bit up. It wasn't a bad pitch. The guy just drove it to the spot where, again, at Fenway, that's like a 200. What is that? Like 290 to right center there in that gap.
Yeah,
kind of like juts out, and it just slipped right over that little short wall too. Like if it was a normal height wall, it wouldn't have gone.
So before we sign off, I want to ask: so what's your confidence level right now? Division?
Like win the division?
Yes.
Ooh, less than 20%.
Okay. What was it before? What was it last Wednesday night or last Thursday? I guess
before the season started.
Yeah.
50.
Okay.
The Twins just look like a brick shit house, dude. I'm not messing with the Twins right now. That lineup is just second place in the division. I'm probably still about 50 to 60%. I still really don't sweat Cleveland. I think the mean will suffice, but I don't know.
One more injury to the rotation, and how worried are you?
Very. Unless a guy like Dane Dunning or Crochet or something can come up and surprise me, but there's really
Because man, that depth went to. We were talking like when they announced that they were coming back. Like, man, the Sox got like 8 guys who can start. Gio Gonzalez is already in rotation, and he's your last guy before you have to call up rookies.
right. It was Xavier Bogaerts that hit the home run off Jason.
Yep.
92-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball to right center. Yeah, I mean, I got confidence in Dane Dunning. I think Dane will be all right. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to sit here and still say like I'm super confident in this rotation after that first run through. I still think they're going to be better, like we saw with Lucas.
6 ERA pitcher.
I mean, we saw it with Lucas Giolito. You know, his second time through, he did what an ace does. He stopped the bleeding. If Dallas Keuchel stays the course and we continue to get Lewis, that's a great 1-2. But then, yeah, I mean,
You have a lot of question marks after that.
yeah. So that's why I've been harping so much on like maybe you give these kids a shot. Maybe you bring up an arm.
If we could just combine the Cubs and Sox pitching staffs,
That'd be
amazing.
That would be sick, dude.
New baseball rule this year. They're going to combine teams that are in the same city so they can eliminate travel.
There you go. Love it.
60-man rosters.
It's like, we need to borrow Aaron Bummer for 3 straight games. Thank you.
He was good on Wednesday.
He's good. I mean, I think after this year he's gonna be a closer. I think Colomé is gone after this year, and Bummer got the extension in the winter. I think he's gonna be your closer. That guy's fucking good.
Yeah. All right, boys.
That's all I got.
Yep. Be on the lookout. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at PinwheelsIvyPod. Be on the lookout for a Sunday night, Monday night show. We're not sure what's going to happen there.
Or it still explodes because Nick Magical still isn't up.
It might happen.
See, you say that you're not going to get mad, but
I'm going to be mad, but like I don't think I'm going to blow up anymore on Twitter.
all right.
I say that now. I don't know.
Let's hope this ages well.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I'll save this clip too.
But yeah, for Aldo, that's K-Fids. I'm Zoe. Bring up Nick Madrigal. This is the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast, and we'll talk to you guys soon.